complicated. Half of it is I know I'm now an oversaturated masochist, sick of fibromyalgia, formaldehyde preserving putrid flesh. Cue the next stupid restless thought I resurrect to fuel my stress. I wanna let it go, clear it all, and sealing up the lethargy from memories. Breathless weak with spiritual anemia, numb fingers searching, feeling for a healing touch, looking for escape inside a plastic bag with helium. No surprise I find about as easy as a noble gas. Never sharing space means you'll never catch me holding hands. Maybe I'm too caught up in the past when there's no going back. Running closed circuits on loop is just a soulless act. I'm sinking deeper, falling in a void of decay. It's like starving at the table of a poison buffet. If you're enjoying the stay, you can toil and slave, but everything you think you're working for is boiling away. All that's left is limbo, a desert so spotless, so directionless, when you know the landmarks are mirages. A dreamless waking life that makes you doubt you're even conscious. Broken glass on a hamster wheel with no way to get off it. You realize you need more, so you go hunting. Nothing was enough till you were told you had something. Then material possessions and acceptance from your peers were your measurement for pleasure, but you never drew near to your goals. Cause nothing that you wanted really mattered, just illusions you were told to keep you well behaved and mannered. Love and right and wrong were what we took with willful ignorance, pretending things had value made us happy we were different. All I wanted from the people I was friends with was attention and acceptance of perspectives I'm obsessed with. Maybe to be told that I was precious and the stresses in my life were taken care of with no reason to be restless. I believed in human goodness even though I knew I shouldn't, and I learned the hard way that the world is cruel and crooked. Amputating feet of clay makes the world see-through and footless, so we never weave the fake. We just let them creep through bushes. It's funny how I miss everything I used to hate, and crummy how I do anything just to escape. Recreate every catalyst for my dissatisfaction, cause it seems like it's just easier to reimagine passion. Purpose is a lie, so why am I so fidgety? Love is a lie, so how come solitude is misery? Value is subjective, so what could life give to me when words are wind that come and go and vanish to infinity? I can't overcome the phantom pain from religion. It's pointless, but I still have to gain recognition. People run in the maze, but I can't make them listen, so I'm left all alone as I stay in this prison. My social instincts are a carrot on a stick. I look for affirmations where I know they don't exist. I guess that's what they mean when they say ignorance is bliss. Brainwashed by a moral code dependent cause you're visionless. My limbic system wants the lie, but my mind wants the truth. Now I'm trying to decide what I want to do. The light of direction is dying with my youth, and the only dream I have is of lying in a tomb. We simulate importance, making stupid little choices, and the bigger fates and forces set us up for disappointment. If I'd always been this way, it'd be easy to accept, but now I dream of dreamless sleep in a world put to rest.
Baby didn't move, didn't squirm, didn't kick. Without the ultrasound, you might have thought it didn't live. The diagnostic tools said it was perfectly healthy, but even so, they did a cesarean and cut open her belly. The baby took its first breath, but never even cried. In fact, it laid still and never even opened up its eyes. They wondered why not, and what was in its mind. So they ran tests, but nothing showed that it was sick or gonna die. The couple went home with the baby as a family, and when he started nursing, they were so relieved and happy. Maybe things were gonna fall in place after all. Maybe the idiosyncrasies were small and they could pass it off, but they laid him in his crib and never heard him through the night. Several times they checked to make sure he was alright, but when morning came around and the sky had turned light, they saw the baby never moved and didn't even use a sense of sight. Time passed, no cries, no laughs, every day the same thing, a kid that permanently napped. They called a doctor, but still no diagnosis was made. Just a comatose child that was floating away. No one guessed that indifference created the distance, that he didn't really care enough to look around or listen. A lack of curiosity about the world he lived in, and a lack of motivation to concern himself with living. Eventually it took its toll, eating at his mother. A child so lifeless tore her sanity asunder, so she laid awake in bed as she obsessively wondered, was it all her fault or the fault of another? Why blood bloodshot eyes as she stayed online all night, hoping to find a solution, a sign. She tried speaking to him softly, but got no reply. So back to the laptop, back to the grind. 3 weeks passed, she broke down and collapsed. A normal love and family was all she wanted to have. Mood swings came next, first angry then sad. Her husband came to thinking that his wife had gone mad. The ultimatum came with the baby in her hands, eyes closed, still mute, face emotionless and bland. Her hands began to tremble, no patience left in them, and so became another case of shaken baby syndrome. Distraught, scared, abject despair, no drive left to live, just seemed so unfair. Lexapro, citalopram, Abilify, Prozac, had to go try an out that revivified, no chance. Relapse, instant, inconsolable, all the failing medication made her feel so gullible. She hated the world, and she hated herself, not a thing in the world seemed to comfort her health. Her hopes and dreams reduced to rubble. She stood on the tracks as the station rumbled. She'd been looking for the light at the end of the tunnel, so she faced the iron beast and got a 2-for-1 bundle.
They are all of them swept up in a mighty current. A current they cannot see or feel. I simply swim against it. Nothing more.
Born into a 3,000-year-old collective entity, successor to a sister that was undeveloped mentally, heir to the burden, burden to her memory, raised by doctors fated to honor the family legacy, lived in a house full of fear all the time. A word from her mother, fracture the fault line, worn into her soul, reminding her that she's not right, a disappointment and a failure in her mom's eyes. Raised wealthy by parents that never stopped to see their own daughter trapped in emotional poverty, conditioned to pray at a temple so solemnly, get a law degree and get married off like property. It didn't bother her to be a part of the process. She never knew to see the world outside of such a context, but the girl grew up and grew out of old concepts and found herself trapped as her mind became conscious. Breathed through artwork, externally humble, met a couple friends outside her usual bubble, fought the whirlpool, climbing out the funnel, then the pen grew still, and so did her struggles. Broken inside, she crumbled to pieces, emaciated, listless, sick and bulimic, kept her sexuality and mindset secret, led by a diamond-studded collar wrapped around her spirit. She met a boy who showed her things she'd never seen. He'd skipped 5 years of school and graduated at 17. A city kid that showed her new ideas and abilities, but both are naive, no idea what bitter means. She spent a month out of town, got with the wrong crowd. Before then, I guarantee she'd never rob a house. When a resident caught them, he was almost shot down. She changed her mind and saved a man's life before she got out. The guilt stayed with her even when she got back. Talked to her friend without eye contact. A fascination for petty theft, stuck on the wrong track, and he worried for her future in case it got bad. She confessed to him, and he would sit and listen. Best friends, even though his visits were intermittent. Mom and Dad saw the dark boy and saw it fit to split them in the name of protection from bad influences. She spent the night in tears. What was the purpose? Given Prozac and therapy, but both seemed worthless. She walked along the lake. Maybe it would work if she left a bubble by diving in to send them to the surface. Never made it to the grave, but never made it out the hole. The free woman died, the killer unaccountable. A few fleeting years when the girl became powerful before being crushed beneath the insurmountable. She was reborn into a collective entity and had the smile to prove she was altogether mentally an empty husk hidden behind selective memory, like it was all meant to be according to her legacy. You can cross the street with the right of way, but if the car doesn't stop and you walk, you'll die today. Flattened on the ground like roadkill on a highway. No purpose standing your ground against a tidal wave. The worst things that happen can be unseen. Change doesn't happen that easily. Conflicts resolved, the past now clean, and it felt so good when she swam downstream. The crooked, sleazy type, always looking for a fight, cause he's good at being right, so he shouldn't be as nice. He looks and sees strife and says you should have seen the light, but it couldn't be as bright when every book you read is like, hey, look at me, I'm white, and you shouldn't be alive. He couldn't realize his little hook was realigned from hooded demon tribes, except they wouldn't be as trite to feed the lie and say they're putting dreams to life. He plots the speech, talking the I've done a lot for peace hypocrisy, but honestly a lot of greed is blocking these hypotheses, unconsciously stopping the rotten and stopping to see it with jaded eyes, glossing free across the fact he's made of lies. Holy books bind minds, another evil wager, binding strips with covers people with paper. Sign away your soul, cause you're seeking what's greater. Sign away your freedom by retreating from danger. Paranoid, wanna be left alone, fearing that he's next to go. They're coming for his flesh and bone, hide because you never know, and pretty soon he's turning inside out, becoming dead and broke, feeling like a mosaic made of every face he's seen except his own. He's a pot fearing kettles, trying to be a rebel, pretending that the wretched are inhuman to settle a mental realization he's the devil. Benevolent wishes twisted and a callous mind that can't decide if it should listen. It felt good to be right, less so to be flying free. Instead of trying to see, he shows a little piety, a vibrant seed of violent greed, growing silently, corrupt to weeping will. Oh, I guess it's time to climb the tree. Battlegrounds are his divine will, and he's the arbiter. Speak a word against the sleeping beast and he will start to stir and hammer down the nail that sticks out like a carpenter. Standing out, cause swift judgment from the harbinger.
Yo, I become a savage when I grab the mic. My passages are tight, my thalamus is like a palace filled with light. I fight to hype, then I'm astute, but my brain conduces interludes where it confuses food for types of hypercubes. So dude, I'm the meanest genius that you've ever seen. The keenest of my time, I'm vitrifying your entire team, please. I have the wrath of a psychopath, and if I get mad, I could rip the fucking Hulk in half. I'm herding servants of serpents, it's like I murder random persons, cause it's such a surplus of them, do I lack a purpose? And why should I be burdened with this? Why don't I invert it, stay inert? Even I don't understand my urge to purge the worst, or maybe it's a curse from my past that attacks my verse. I used to visualize evil guys tied, and their eyes pried from their skulls, more repulsive than the movie Saw. I'd be axing limbs and jaws until they all fall. I burn them all with a Molotov, then I toss, then applaud at the demise that it defies, and no one ever survives. I've been ready to die, heading to my heaven inside of the sky, ascending high, equipping myself with an armor so I can terrify demons, seasons of light. There's a deeper reason I'm on the mic, covering regions in the light, a legion given the highest might. With an intellect that's bright, the darkness seems to scatter. My harness starts to shatter, now the target's all that matters. I'm a mad hatter with my style, cause I switch it up. I guess I am a hypocrite with this, but I don't give a fuck. Your luck is running out, I'll start a ruckus if you doubt me. Joust a lance through your crotch until it spills from out your mouth. A straight bat shit, Vlad madness with these kids. I'm killing victims and then stuffing the missing witnesses into bins. My sins are only for me to contemplate, so I evade debates. I hate the mistakes that I have made, but I accept my fate.
My alarm clock rings and reminds me of my peasantry. My 9 to 5 defines my life and dominates my destiny. I shuffle off the t-shirt that some girl in Taiwan made for me and slip into another set of wool and cotton slavery. The Adderall I'm popping seems to be the modern opium. I didn't have a problem, but a doctor came and sold me one. It should be common sense. I'm anxious if I earn a lowly sum and give a quarter of my cash to guys that own petroleum. I pour myself a bowl of GMOs and other crud, and then I douse it with some milk from cows that drank their mother's blood. I used to hate the taste of growth hormones, so I'd ignore the facts, but now I just indifferently accept that I've been eating crap. I flip in channel 9 and hear reports about today's mess. politicians match wits, who can be more heinous? The aim is putting some to shame while keeping yourself blameless, while the advertisements roll and tell us where to spend our paycheck. The anchor says we're making war and spray our crops with Agent Orange. The people watch but they get bored and channel flip to Asian porn. Discussions and debates ignored, what good is all the blaming for? I'd rather watch some naked whores than hear reports of hate and scorn. The world is coming down in flames but I don't bat an eyelash. I just keep myself in rhythm with the leather line dance. I flinch away from the guy in your back and whip the one in front of me, cause predatory hierarchy exists in perfect harmony. The older generation used to drown it out as winos. Nowadays I focus on my 1080p blindfold, ignoring anything more than 10 inches from my nose, staying in this comfortably miserable cycle. I tie a pair of shoes made by kids in Asian sweatshops, then I'm out the door to spend my day dissolving at a desktop. My phone reports my route to work to private corporations, as well as any personal or business conversations. I cringe at the sound of my car when it accelerates. The smog that it produces is a coke or Rockefeller's pay. Truthfully, these problems all predate my generation. The social warfare is hundreds of years in the making. I kiss up to my boss and then I piss on those below me. When it's all that I can do to feed myself, it gets so lonely. Is this the only way to live? I'm feeling like it's gotta be. It's inequality that bothered every world economy. The world is coming down in flames, but you don't bat an eyelash. You just keep yourself in rhythm with a leather line dance. Flinch away from the guy in back and with the one in front of you. Ask what this world's coming to, wish passively for something new. Our bodies are prepared to act whenever we're in tatters, so even if we're comfortable, we still continue patterns. The rich have everything they need, yet still they're growing fatter. But I still denounce the righteousness with which you're all enamored. Cause everyone was born with eyes that saw from one perspective, and everybody has a stomach giving them incentive. When someone else is feeling pain, your nerves will not detect it. It's no wonder selfishness is the general consensus. So if you hold social activists in reverence, understand the 1% does their job without malevolence. You say they're all evil, a societal infection, but no, they're just the champions of natural selection. The world is coming down in flames, but we don't bat an eyelash. We just keep ourselves in rhythm with the leather line dance. Flinch away from the guys in back and whip the ones in front of us. There's really no alternative when all the debt is running up. You say praise the Savior and bathe in grace, or save your prayers, go and make a change. I say don't hate the player, you should hate the game. You can take the paper or just waste away. Go invest in Bayer or sue Gatorade. But vagrants and mayors are both made the same. It won't sate your anger, just a place to blame. It's survival of the fittest, so just stay awake. Morally, there's no difference between the men in suits and the people that are struggling to buy themselves soup. You can say that I'm too cynical, but listen to the truth. If you had the opportunity, you'd be the villain too. The world is coming down in flames, but you don't bat an eyelash. You just keep yourself in rhythm with the leather line dance. Flinch away from the guy in back and whip the one in front of you. Ask what this world's coming to, wish passively for something new. The world is coming down in flames, but I don't bat an eyelash. I just keep myself in rhythm with the leather line dance. I flinch away from the guy in back and whip the one in front of me, cause predatory hierarchy exists in perfect harmony.
My heart used to gush for any girl that needed help. I was so on my affection, but I still was ripping hell. She's a damsel in distress with Jack on her breath, escaping everyone and everything she can't accept. I never knew why you can't relax and couldn't recognize I was there to be everything you never had from other guys. My heart used to gush for any girl that needed help, but in the end I lost it all and couldn't even save myself. I'm sorry that your parents never gave you recognition. I'm sorry you could never pursue your life's ambition. I wish I had the power just to show you something better. God damn it, I'd do anything, but all I could was listen. Memories gather dust in the attic with the rafters. Some women stop time, but no one makes it move backwards. We took it for granted and made drama like actors aim the guilt and the shame and who threw away what they had first. It was us against the world, but where the fuck did you go? I thought I had a friend, now I'm stuck on my own. You're the one that feels alive, but I'm in love with the ghost. And for all of the memories, there's nothing to show. I know it wasn't real, I know that I'm probably another soulless construct of Jungian psychology. Easy to pretend at one point you meant a lot to me. My heart betrays my mind, and you took it like a robbery. I must have been a fool to think that I could possibly replace the cozy feeling of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Human condition, no wonder you're a lot like me. I chase the familiar in spite of the pain it causes me. I guess you didn't like us being victims of each other, so we went our separate ways to cope alone with how we suffer. And no wonder that we're sinking like a raft without a rudder. Heavy rain with no thunder, swallowed whole and pulled under. Stockholm syndrome had you looking for possession, a way to belong, the only one worth a mention. I never held you down, so you must have been worthless. How often did I tell you that that wasn't the purpose? How come living polyamorous is living like a masochist? When they sit and chat a bit, it feels like we're matching wits. I don't wanna own you, even though I'm passionate. Even when we're free, no one is the antagonist. But it felt like we were trying to settle a petty score. Maybe I was reaching for something I wasn't ready for. I'm sick of telling stories even though there's plenty more. So now I turn away cause I can't do this anymore. I'm sick of the fighting, I'm sick of confessions. It was going so well till we were living in tension. I was stupid back then, so I didn't expect it. So predictable to see through a cynic's perspective. Now I'm stuck in a cocoon and I don't know what to do. I'm lonely as fuck, but I know I can't be stuck with you. Every dream's a nightmare that I won't let follow through. And I'm going crazy wondering how much of it's the truth. I've been wasting my life just chasing a stupid vision. The illusion of permanence is just a superstition. Tries to match a person with the feeling when my pulse quickens. But love is nothing more than a word that can be written. Kinda funny how we've come to this moment when things seem hopeless, but we know it's just focus on the little things that keep us from shivering in a cold world by nibbling on different things. We bore fruit from colonization and ease the pain by stopping to taste it. A lot of it's basic, but we just innovate till Japan borders France on a dinner plate. Get a taste, travel the world in a day. It's an opiate. Where we going next? Ethiopian lamb steak pancakes, I can barely hold it in. Smoking ribs, Canadian bacon, making a haven out of 1,000 rounds of history, centuries of recipes and gourmet ability. And if I'm sick of Greek, I go to Chinatown, finding chow I've never had and try it out. I got some Vietnamese you'd have to see to believe. Smell the steam and the grease from the evening's feast. Even a piece of what a German serves is perfect, but earnest. I stirred the bratwurst with crap block soup, and it tasted great. I'm not ashamed to say the great display of cultures made for plates, and if they fade away, then it's a waste and shame. Why fight when you can make a cake? Nothing like sugar and fat to save the day. In any other era, you would travel the globe, fly to have Thai food and slices of roast. What I'm trying to show is that despite what you know, any mammal can enjoy what we're buying to go. Maybe it's silly to rap about a pita chip, but what else really matters when you're living as a hedonist? I could care less about life and what it really is. Just give me some tacos and pizza and a bit of Indian. So while this is an age where we live in a white lie, with toxic miasmas of smog and grit in the night sky, the old generation did intrude so they might die, and will taste more in a month than they did in a lifetime.